both scholars. Ready? Pose. Go.
Recruits, half right, face. All uniformed personnel, present arms.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order! Arms!
Ready? Freeze. Sport. Mark.
Recruits, half left, face. All uniformed personnel, at ease.
Please remain standing and welcome Chaplain Hedrick for the invocation.
If you desire, please join with me in prayer. My kind and all-wise Heavenly Father, hallowed be thy name, Lord. We're truly grateful for a beautiful day, grateful for an opportunity to celebrate the accomplishments of our soon-to-be brothers and sisters. Lord, I pray for your watch care and your protection upon them. I invite your presence. I invite your blessing upon this ceremony. And I pray, Father, that you'd be here to witness the oath that they're about to take, that you would enable them to be able to fulfill that oath, that they would be able to have your strength when they are weak, that they would have your energy when they are weary, and your comfort when they are burdened with the cares of this profession. Lord, help them to carry those burdens. And I just want to have this opportunity to celebrate their accomplishment and to give you the glory. And I ask it in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Please be seated. Thank you, Chaplain Hedrick. We are honored to have and would like to welcome Mayor Anna Stout to the podium.
Thank you so much, and on behalf of the Grand Junction City Council and the City of Grand Junction, it is my profound pleasure to welcome our newest class of firefighters here to the Grand Junction Fire Department and to the city, and also their families who are now part of this fire family as well. I'm also really pleased to welcome such a large class. This class is tied for the second largest class that we've ever put through the academy here at 19. And the last time this happened was in 2006, so we're really thrilled to welcome all of you to the family. Also, I'd like to recognize other City Council members who are here present today, Mayor Pro Tem Abram Herman and Councilmember Dennis Simpson. Thank you for the opportunity and for the honor of speaking here today. I want to start by telling you something that happened to me the other night. I was just getting ready to walk outside and walk my dogs pretty late at night, and I heard an engine go by. And I had this pang that I didn't recognize right at first. And as I was walking with my dogs, I realized it was this combination of concern and wishes for protection for whoever was going out, for whoever they were going to, and also a profound feeling of gratitude, knowing that we have people in this community who put their lives on the line every single day to make sure the rest of us are safe. So it immediately made me think of this class because I knew today was coming up, and I felt grateful automatically for the sacrifice that they're making and what they're preparing to step into. I've had the opportunity to do ride-alongs and witness somewhat firsthand. I have the third rider curse, of course, so not truly firsthand what you guys go through because I really didn't see a whole lot of anything. But I know the sacrifices that you make, and I know the sacrifices that your families make for you to be here protecting our community and giving us all this sense of safety and comfort. And on behalf of the City Council and on behalf of the city, as a resident, I'm profoundly grateful. So thank you for stepping up to this. I'll return to my script because I'm expected to do so. So, firefighters are an intrinsic part of the foundation of this community. And throughout history, one of the main purposes of city government has been to provide public safety. That's certainly true here in Grand Junction, where our fire department has been serving our community for more than 133 years. And while we just celebrated the 246th birthday of America, for 286 years, the American Fire Service has been working, training, and serving our country. Today, we have the honor of welcoming you as a part of that history. As new firefighters, you are an important addition to our city staff and to our team. And I want to offer you the warmest welcome. City Council is committed to public safety. It is one of our priorities as we write our budget every year and as we decide where the city allocates its resources. Public safety is at the top. We fully support our police and fire departments and the employees that provide all of these services. In 2019, our voters passed the first responder tax. It was my honor during my campaign to lend my efforts and my campaign's efforts to those campaign efforts, particularly because it allowed me to get to know many of the firefighters and support staff in this community. Since then, and since that successful passing, we have been using those funds as a city to broaden service to our community by building and staffing new fire stations. I know because of my ride-alongs that every member of our fire department is thrilled to welcome you and to have some relief in sight for the many, many taxes and burdens that you guys have as a department. In 2020, we opened Fire Station 6 and Fire Station 8 is currently under construction. It's scheduled to open this fall. And these stations bring improved response times and service to the eastern part of our community. And this is an area that we know will grow in coming years. You are the second Academy class hired under the first responder tax. And my fellow members of City Council and I are so proud that you stand ready to begin your service and that you've chosen the City of Grand Junction to do so. Completing the Fire Academy is not an easy task. As I watched the video, I was slightly nauseous and overheating just watching it. So you've worked incredibly hard, harder than I think most members of our community would be capable of. And that culminates today as members of the Grand Junction Fire Department. So my hope is that each and every one of you have a long and rewarding career here with the City of Grand Junction. And I thank you again profoundly for joining this and for being part of our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Stout. We'd like to thank you and the City Council for your support of our graduating recruits. I would also like to thank our Academy lead instructors, Captain Garrett DeHaan, Firefighter Connor Charlesworth, Captain Eric Nordine, Engineer Frank Frabber, Firefighter Corey Massey, Firefighter Paramedic Mike Zeek, our EMS instructor, Zach Lyda, as well as all the other instructors who made this academy possible. Please welcome Academy Instructor Connor Charlesworth for his instructor address.
Hello, everyone. I would like to thank everyone for being here today to celebrate and congratulate these 19 recruits on their graduation from Grand Junction Fire Department Fire Academy. My name is Connor Charlesworth. I'm a firefighter with Grand Junction Fire Department. And for the past 20 weeks, I have been these recruits' lead instructor. First off, I would like to thank the chiefs for their continual support in the academy process and their belief in these recruits and all instructors. Second, I would like to thank the families and loved ones of these recruits. I know it cannot be easy when they come home battered and tired, whether it came from one of Instructor Nordine's workouts, engine block, or Bess's brutal firefighter survival week. They may not say it to you, but I will say it for them. They would not have been able to get through this without you. Your love and support are what motivated them throughout this whole process and to keep pushing every day and to continue to show up and to work as hard as they did. 20 weeks ago, we started this process with 24 recruits and 6 instructors, one of the biggest academies our department has ever put on. When we showed up on the first day, there was a lot of anticipation about what this academy was going to bring. As 4 of us instructors, this would not be our first academy instructing together. As you can imagine, this academy brought a lot of surprises to each one of us, and by no means was it an ordinary experience. We had everyone from a 25-year veteran of the fire service that at many times I was trying to figure out why I was instructing him and it was not the other way around, to a 19-year-old kid that walked funny. We had a young lady that was a personal trainer for almost 10 years of her life and decided to follow her true passion and join the fire service. To a preacher that day one could not do more than 5 push-ups, and later we noticed we had created a monster that would rip the hood off of a car and throw it through a windshield during car fires. Then of course we had the California boy that would eat all the ice cream but claimed to be lactose intolerant. These recruits have put in an extreme amount of hard work each day, and on most occasions would exceed all of our expectations as instructors. For those of you who have not been through a fire academy, here is how it works. Every day at 7 a.m. the recruits have PT led by their favorite person, Instructor Nordine. Now I say 7 a.m., but more often than not, the recruits would show up at 6 to 6:15 to set everything up for PT and the daily drills. Once PT was over around 8:15 to 8:30, they would have until 9 to get changed in their vehicle and be ready for inspection. At 9 a.m., they would be on their footprints, standing in formation, waiting for the instructors to come over and inspect their clothing for proper creases in their shirts and pants. We would then check all their gear to ensure it was in a proper state of readiness. If and when we found anything wrong, we got to enjoy some lovely burpees. And man, did we enjoy a lot of them. Once the inspection was completed, we would either meet in the classroom to learn new classes, or we would go directly into gear and do drills until noon. Then after lunch, we would continue to be in full bunker gear and continue to do more drills. The academy is broken up into blocks, which is meant to teach them each fireground skill at a crawl, walk, run approach. We start with foundation block, which teaches them how to put their gear on, ropes and knots, how to search for victims in a home, and how to throw a ladder by themselves and with a partner. Then we get to engine block, where we would teach them how to pull hose, flow water, and how to get water out of a hydrant. Then we would reload the hose over and over and over, and you guessed it, over again. We then get to truck block, where they were taught how to open any and every door you can imagine and how to cut a hole in a roof while being safe. We would then get to their favorite portion of academy, specialties block, where they would learn how to rappel off a cliff and how to perform river rescues while floating from one end of the town to the other with an occasional hydrology study break, aka a surfing break. Then into wildland block, where one of the recruits was so excited that he fainted with excitement. We then got into live fire block, where for some of them, this was the first time they would be seeing real fire up close and personal and experiencing heat. This block taught them how much they can truly trust the gear, and contrary to their beliefs, they can trust that the instructors are going to keep them safe and not let anything happen to them. We would then get to the highly anticipated Firefighter Survival Week, where from day one, we completely switched the script. The recruits at this point were very accustomed to a certain way we run the academy every day, and now there is nothing the same besides constant wearing of gear. They were taught how to save themselves if they were in a life or death situation, and then how to save each other and their fellow firefighters. This portion of the academy is very taxing on their bodies and tests their true mental toughness. The recruits would then finally get to test all the academy skills that they had been taught when we got to Scenarios Week, where now they have to use those skills and do them in a series together. So at this point, we are running. There is no more crawling, there is no more walking. The recruits must be able to perform actual fireground skills with multiple companies working at the same time and attempting to complete the objective of fire extinguishment in a safe and timely manner. Once that is complete, we then got to final testing block, where they must test out of the fire portion of the academy to truly show all the instructors they know how to do this job and that we can trust them to protect the citizens of Grand Junction. Followed by 1 week of hazmat and 3 weeks of EMS, where these recruits would learn what 85% of our job is, and regardless of what they thought coming into this job or throughout the academy, this is what most of our days are filled with. During my time as a lead instructor, I have learned that each academy is a little different. Not in a bad way, but they are, and this one was no different. This academy is not one I will soon forget, and here are some examples of how I remember this group. Up-off, with the endless questions, and before any test would be sweating more than he would during one of the various workouts throughout academy. Bjornson may or may not be afraid of fire. Don't worry everyone online, he's not actually afraid of the fire. Donofrio, who at times needs to just stop talking to ensure that he does not give the instructors more ammo to tease him about. Moores, who's the most athletic, unathletic person I've ever met and trips over his feet every day and at times looks like a baby deer on ice. Geiger and Almy, no matter if it was rain, snow, shine, 60-mile-an-hour wind, or soaking with water, always either had a PB&J or a cheeseburger in their pocket to ensure they weren't going to lose any weight throughout the academy. With all of that being said, I've truly enjoyed my time with all of you, and I've learned a lot from all of you as well. I want to express how proud I am of every one of you for all the hard work and dedication that you've put in to becoming a Grand Junction firefighter. I hope that all of you are also proud of this accomplishment, as it is not an easy thing to do. I hope that going forward you continue to make me proud. Just remember that now you know just enough to get yourself in trouble, and we have taught you the foundation of this job, and it is your job to continue to build on this knowledge and never stop learning. So I'll leave the 19 of you with this. Do your job, treat people right, all in attitude, all out effort, and finally, it's okay to love the job. I would now like to introduce Recruit Swales for the recruit address. Thank you.
Good afternoon and welcome everyone. My name is Rick Swales. And on behalf of the City of Grand Junction Fire Department's first recruit class of 2022, I want to thank all of you who've come tonight to recognize the hard work and dedication given by the recruits and instructors who for the last 20 weeks have engaged in the weekly grind that is Grand Junction's Fire Academy. Before I get started, I would like to recognize my wife and kids back home for their continued support for me and my career as a firefighter. Regrettably, they were unable to make it here tonight. Thank you to Matthew and Amy Vest for opening my eyes to the beautiful state of Colorado and allowing me to stay in your home while I made the transition from Georgia to Grand Junction. I would not have been able to do this without you both. Thank you. In addition, I would like to thank the City of Grand Junction's Human Resources Department and Fire Department Administration for putting their faith in each recruit that was selected and giving us a chance to serve the citizens of the City of Grand Junction. Thank you. Now can I have the lead instructors please stand? Gentlemen, it is a tremendous responsibility to accept the task of instructing and imprinting the minds and bodies of fire department recruits. You all accepted the challenge and demonstrated to us the importance of being prepared at any time for anything, and that standards are made to exceed and not to meet. You picked us up when we needed it the most, and most certainly brought us back to reality when we thought we had it all figured out. As instructors, you set examples of integrity, dedication, and hard work, and when we fell short, you suffered as we did. No, those actions didn't go unnoticed. Each of you carried a burden of preparing us for an unforgiving but rewarding job, and you all exceeded our expectations. Chief Carson, Chief Lim, well done on your instructor selection. The chemistry between your instructors is perfect, and that is a rare thing to have in the fire department instructor cadre. Gentlemen, on behalf of the 2022 recruit class, thank you all. Sit down. Can I please have recruits Mike Donofrio and Josiah Brown please stand? Gentlemen, you both were appointed the arduous class of being our class battalion chief. Mike, with your limited exposure to the fire service, you did an exceptional job. You acted professionally and showed great promise as a firefighter here in Grand Junction. Josiah, you two stepped up and led us all in the right direction. Your tremendous attention to detail and organization kept us on point and saved us a lot of pain and suffering. Gentlemen, on behalf of your fellow recruits, thank you both for your hard work and leadership through our days at Fire Academy. Sit down. I'm now going to speak to my fellow fire recruits, but my words are for all who will hear them. While tonight is certainly a celebration of reaching the first major benchmark in a firefighter's career, I want you all to think beyond that. Being that this will be my second graduation from a recruit academy, and it's been some 24 years between my first and second, I have a different perspective on this occasion than most. During those years, I've seen the best and absolute worst in mankind. I've questioned my actions and the actions of others many times. And I've found that this job can and will knock you down every chance it gets. You will be judged by how you respond to these setbacks. The best guidance I've gotten in my career was from a man you all met briefly on a phone conversation during the last day of survival block. That man is Chief Mike Baxter, also known as Mo. Now, I've known Mo for about 10 years now, and he's had a tremendous impact on my life, not only as a firefighter, but as a person. This man operates daily in a manner of servant leadership that is truly rare occurrence in the world today. Even during those few minutes he spoke to us all, he sparked in each of us a realization that is all in our hands now. Mo, he walks the walk. Now, some years back, Mo and some other firefighters noticed that there was a growing lack of attention to basic skills in the fire service, and it was causing firefighters to develop training gaps and often lose the ability to perform these basic skills that drive the success of tactics on the fire ground. So he and others created a class called the Georgia Flames. Now, Flames is an acronym that stands for Firefighters Laboring and Mastering Essential Skills. This is a 48-hour class that's done in the course of 3 days. This class taught me how important it was to master the basic skills of our job so that I could perform those skills at a high level even when I was extremely fatigued. During this class, I learned the Flames Creed. The creed uses 3 powerful words to exemplify what it is and how to be a firefighter. These words drive the motives of basic firemanship and are the blueprint for each day that I live. If you live by these words, they will lead you into being the best that you can be. I will now read the Georgia Flames Creed. I have chosen an occupation that is a perilous one. It will require me a character composed of certain core values. Among them are courage, obligation, and diligence. I will face dangers that cause me to tremble with fear, and I will face struggles that test my strength of self. I will face the temptation of self-satisfaction and complacency. I will succeed only through a genuine belief, and these are core values. Courage. When faced with danger, I will rely on my courage. My courage is not a roar of bravado or a hollow boast of pride. It is a quiet voice in my heart that says, if I do not succeed in my first attempt, I will try again. I will never accept defeat, and I will never allow the fear of failure to cause me to hesitate. My courage is the bedrock of my character. Obligation. When faced with these struggles that test my strength, I will remember my obligation to my brother and my sister, my craft and my family, as well as to myself. When thoughts of giving up or testing my will, I will remind myself that others rely on me, and I will endure the pain of my hardships, for that is the only way to fulfill my obligations of service to my fellow man. Service to others will make my sacrifice worthwhile. Finally, diligence. When faced with the temptation to be complacent, I will rely on my diligence, for it will cause me to consider my every action. It will cause me to consider how well I have fulfilled my obligations and to be an honest judge of my courage. It will cause me to constantly seek self-improvement in both my abilities and my character. Diligence will remind me that on the plains of hesitation lie the blackened bones of countless millions who at the dawn of victory laid down to rest, and resting they died. In my attempt to live these core values, I will face tests of my determination and spirit, but I will not fail because my character is my choice. Furthermore, the acronym of these 3 words is often expressed as a term of endearment spoken from person to person who have persevered through the class and understand the power behind each word. This is a reference to each other as COT. An example may be, hey, what's up, COT? This acronym or nickname reminds one another the importance of the 3 words, what they stand for, and that whomever referred to you shares the same love and reverence to those words. As we all move forward in our new path, remember the words of this creed. It is no coincidence that they align with the core values taught and learned in this recruit academy. To my fellow recruits and my instructors, it has truly been an honor to be with you in this journey. My words cannot express how I feel about each of you. Thank you for your friendship and dedication. And remember, Cods, that your character is your choice. Thank you.
Thank you, Recruit Swells. Next, will you please welcome Fire Chief Ken Watkins to the podium.
Thank you, Chief Blim. Thank you, Mayor Stout, for your words, and also Firefighter Charlesworth and Recruits Wales. Appreciate you making those comments for all of us today. Let me get myself situated here. So I also want to welcome everyone here today. Good afternoon to all the family, friends, certainly Mayor Stout and our members of the City Council that are here. All of our city and fire department staff, a number of our staff is in the back. I appreciate you all being here. And of course the recruits, soon to be firefighters. I also want to recognize some important folks that are here with us. We have a number of city directors that are here with us. Our HR director, Shelly Caskey, is not able to be with us, but Ann Guevara is here representing HR. I think I saw her come in. We have John Shaver, our city attorney. Thank you, John. Trent Prawl, our public works director. Sarah Spalding, our communication and engagement director. Amy Phillips, our city clerk. And I think I caught everybody. I'm sorry if I missed anyone, but that's what I saw come in. Also with us today is Interim Fire Chief Joe White from the Clifton Fire Protection District. Thank you, Joe, for being here. And last but certainly not least, I do want to mention one other person, Matt Carson, retired training chief. You might have heard his name already mentioned, but Matt was our training chief at the beginning of this academy and had been our training chief for the last few years, and he did an excellent job. And thank you for being here, Matt, even though you're retired and wearing your flip-flops today. I do also want to start out with some thank yous. First to the team that put this event together. As you can see, it's not easy to put this all together. A lot of work gets put into it. Certainly our honor guard, and we have with our fire department honor guard, members of our police department honor guard. So thank you for being here and helping. Gene Robertson is our piper. We cannot do these events without a piper. That's my philosophy, and or these events add so much to have a piper. So thank you, Gene, for being here. And I do want to say, Gene is also he's a part of our fire family. He is regional training officer for the Colorado Division of Fire Prevention Control, and he's with the Emerald Society. So, Miranda Jones from our administrative staff. Dirk Klingman is here. Ellis Thompson Ellis, and of course, training chief Ben Blim, who you've met already. Also, thank you to all of our human resource staff, everybody that was involved with recruitment. It takes a number of months, 5 to 6 months, to get through our recruitment. And so I mentioned Ann already, but our analyst that was with us for much of this class was Alicia Dombrowski. She's not here, but there's also a lot of behind the scenes folks in both the fire department and the HR department that helps get all of these members hired and get us to this day. We've thanked the Training Academy cadre, but I also want to just provide my thanks to all of you instructors. I know you worked hard every day, and I'm very proud of the work that you do. I know that when we're done with these academies, you turn out an excellent firefighter that's ready to go, so thank you so much. We also have several subject matter experts that come in and out of the academy from the department. A number of them are in the back. They may come in and teach a specialized class, so thank you for your time too. And last but certainly not least, thank you to our city council, our city manager, Greg Caton, who couldn't be with us today, all the other city departments for your support of the fire department and of this academy. I want to start out by thanking the families. I want to personally welcome you to the Grand Junction Fire Department family. The family at home is our anchor, the most important thing, the top priority in our lives. And specifically to those of you that are parents of these recruits, you raise some top-notch humans that are excellent students, and they even came equipped with the values that match our department. So thank you for doing that. Nice job. To all the family members, thank you for all the support you provided to your loved one on stage thus far. I know this was a long 20 weeks, but you're not done yet. Your firefighter will need your support throughout their career, and in turn, so does the department and our community. Your firefighter loved one will spend a third of their life with their firehouse family. They have already formed close connections and relationships with each other and will continue to from the time spent in the fire station and by relying on each other to keep each other safe and to carry out our mission. And if I'm being honest, you will probably end up spending lots of time with the fire family also. You'll be involved in activities, camping, hiking, trips together, and celebrating other life's milestones together. You already know that your firefighter will have great days, and they will have not so great days. To serve our community, they will work overtime, miss holidays, birthdays, special family events, in order to perform this calling that only a chosen few get selected for. For that, I apologize, but know that their success throughout their career will depend on your understanding and your continued support. Now to the recruits. I always like to think of a theme when I'm up here with the recruits. I want to talk about connection, but first I want to say some of you crossed oceans, mountains, rivers, and state lines to be here. Some of you were born or raised here, but all of you have been on a journey to this moment where you become part of our history, our family, and our community of serving. You have spent the last 4 months training, learning, and practicing the knowledge and skills needed to be a firefighter. And I've heard from your instructors that you are the most connected group of firefighters, recruits that we've ever had. You spent time outside the academy with each other studying, grabbing breakfast together, and beginning to weave yourselves into each other's lives. The power of connection makes our world a richer and a lot smaller place. And to illustrate, my brother Les, who is in the audience today, doesn't know I'm going to talk about him, he made a connection with one of you. He knew we were looking for firefighters, and we needed recruits in this academy. And through a connection he made with one of the recruits' spouse, who happened to be the daughter of a longtime friend of my brother, the connection was made that you wanted to be a firefighter. Because of this connection and all the hard work that you have done, you are on the cusp of starting what is, to me, the best job in the world. Now, I know there's many other examples probably of connections like that. I know of 2 specific ones also of people that are connected to a recruit and that are also here today. So there are many connections that are made throughout our lives. I talked earlier about how you're stepping into a new kind of family, but you're also becoming part of the fabric of our community. I know the same way that you have built connections with one another will carry forward to building relationships in our community that will continue to carry our department forward. In a speech, writer and speaker Alan Watts asked, "What if money was no object? How would you spend your life?" I want you to remember these questions throughout your career. Every day you have choices. Choices to make someone else's bad day better. Choices to listen, to ask questions, to fix things, to help others do better, and to make this a job you would love if money were no object. Alan concludes, "It's better to have a short life that is full of what you like doing than a long life spent in a miserable way." Now, being a firefighter is what you make it. And I know money is important for you and your family, but I hope you'll mold the job into one you love doing and one you'd continue to do as if money was no object. Fill it with what you love and you'll have a long and happy career. Now shortly, a person of your choosing will pin on your badge. You will recite the oath, and you will become a Grand Junction firefighter. This act will grant you an incredible amount of trust by our community. Please do not take this trust for granted, or the opportunity to exercise that trust by making a difference in the lives of those that you encounter while performing your duty and carrying out our mission. Doing so honors those that have gone before you, some of which have given the ultimate sacrifice. For that is truly what it means to be a firefighter, and what it means to be especially a Grand Junction firefighter. I leave you with a fitting quote from A.A. Milne. Some of you may be familiar with A.A. Milne. He created the famous character and philosopher Winnie the Pooh. So the quote is, when you see someone putting on his big boots, you can be pretty sure that adventure is going to happen. So job well done in the academy. Congratulations on your graduation, and I wish you a long and healthy career with the Grand Junction Fire Department. Go forth and have an adventure. Thank you.
We will now pin our recruits. Our first recruit to pin is Alex Almy. And if you are going to pin one of the recruits today, if you wouldn't mind coming up to the stage over here with the chiefs, and they'll get you all ready. Pinning Alex today will be his mother, Brenda Robinson. Alex was born in Denver, Colorado, and after a few short years, moved to Grand Junction. Ever since then, he has called the Grand Valley home, attended local schools, participated in Boy Scouts, as well as attending Mesa State. Alex spent some time working in the oil and gas industry before attending school for EMT and AEMT in Reno, Nevada. After graduating in 2015, he moved back and volunteered at Palisade Fire Department, Lower Valley Fire Department, and Mesa County Search and Rescue. He also worked as an ER tech at St. Mary's. Since graduating, it has been his objective to work with the Grand Junction Fire Department, and Alex is grateful to have the opportunity to serve his community. On days off, Alex can be found recreating on the rivers and in the backcountry, camping, hunting, fishing, and enjoying what makes Western Colorado great. And for the moment they've all been waiting for, Alex is assigned to Station 3 Green Crew. Next up is Joseph Bilkini. Joseph will be pinned today by his father, Patrick Bilkini. Joseph was born and raised in Colorado. He grew up hiking, camping, fishing, and exploring the backcountry in a Jeep or on a dirt bike. Joseph is crafty with his hands and enjoys woodworking and fabricating custom plaques and signs. Joseph has been pursuing a career in the fire service since 2013, when the Black Forest Fire evacuated his family. In 2017, Joseph enlisted in the Marine Corps and spent 4 years as an aircraft rescue firefighter in Beaufort, South Carolina. Joseph loved his time with the Marines, but decided it was time for a change and to be closer to his family. Joseph is very excited to call the Western Slope home and the opportunity to start a career with the Grand Junction Fire Department. Joseph, you are assigned to Station 6 Black Crew. Next up is Kevin Bjornson, and he will be pinned by his girlfriend, Sarah French. Kevin was born and raised in Boise, Idaho, and grew up playing team sports and exploring the outdoors. Before moving to Grand Junction, he worked as an EMT, volunteered for a nonprofit, He's co-founded with the mission to get more kids outdoors and dabbled in construction on the side. Kevin and his girlfriend Sarah moved to Grand Junction in February. Sarah works as a nurse at St. Mary's, and Kevin is proud to join her in a career serving our community as a member of the Grand Junction Fire Department. In his free time, Kevin loves exploring everything the Western Slope has to offer. You can find him mountain biking, fly fishing, backpacking, and hunting. Kevin, you are assigned to Station 1, Red Crew. Next up is Josiah Brown. Josiah will be pinned by his wife, Mara Brown. Josiah was born and raised in Spokane, Washington. After first becoming an EMT in 2012, Josiah spent a few years in Oregon where he became a paramedic and entered the fire service as a volunteer. Josiah and his wife, Mara, lived in Massachusetts for the last 7 years and moved here last August when she accepted a job at Colorado Mesa University as an athletic trainer. Josiah has been a career firefighter for 6 years. Josiah, you are assigned to Station 6, Red Crew. Next up is Tegan Costanzo. He will be pinned by his father, Kyle Costanzo. Tegan is from Rifle, Colorado, and is a fourth-generation firefighter. He graduated high school in 2020 after obtaining his EMT and Firefighter 1 certification. Tegan spent the first 2 years of his career as a firefighter EMT, serving in the same department as his family before joining Grand Junction Fire Department. In his free time, Tegan enjoys fly fishing, hunting, and snowmobiling. Tegan, you will be assigned to Station 2, Black Crew. Next up is Mike Donofrio. He will be pinned by his father, Jeff Donofrio. Mike was born and raised in Cincinnati, Ohio, and went to college at Bowling Green State University in Bowling Green, Ohio. After college, he moved to the Vail Valley to explore the Rockies and search for a meaningful career. He started pursuing a career in the fire service in 2020 and had his sights set on Grand Junction after visiting the Western Slope and learning about GJFD. He completed his EMT and Firefighter 1 certifications at Colorado Mountain College from 2020 to 2021. Mike spends his time mountain biking and in the gym. Mike, you are assigned to Station 1, Red Crew. Next up is Tanner Geiger. Tanner will be pinned by his wife, Karina Geiger. Tanner was born and raised in Ventura County, California. He moved to Gunnison, Colorado in 2015, where he got his degree in criminal justice and played football at Western State. Tanner started working at the Gunnison County Sheriff's Office right out of college as a detention deputy. After 2.5 years, he left the Sheriff's Office to pursue a career in the fire service. Tanner, you will be assigned to Station 3, Red Crew. Next up is Bo Hill. He will be pinned by his wife, Jenna Hill. Bo was born and raised in Grand Junction and has lived here his whole life. Bo and his wife Jenna are raising their 2 children, a daughter 10 and a son 7. Bo has worked for the state of Colorado as a corrections officer at the Rifle State Prison, and most recently he spent 11 years working in the oil and gas industry. Bo obtained his EMTB in 2020 and is hired on to Lower Valley Fire District as a reserve and spent about a year working part-time while holding a full-time oil and gas job. Bo, you are assigned to Station 4, Red Crew. Next up is Tim Johnston. Tim will be pinned by his wife, Samantha Johnston. Tim grew up in Parker, Colorado, where he developed a love for the outdoors. After high school, he spent time in Fort Collins, New York City, and Denver. Tim and his wife, Samantha, loved to visit the Western Slope during their adventures, and he decided to move from the crowds on the Front Range to Fruita. Together, they spend their free time on the river and trails with their 2 black labs. Tim, you're going to be assigned to Station 6, Black Crew. Next up, Cody Moores. Cody will be pinned by his sister, Jenna Moores. Cody was born and raised in Fruita, Colorado. He graduated from Fruita Monument High School in 2017 and shortly after obtained his EMT certification. Cody worked as a reserve firefighter for Lower Valley Fire Districts for 3.5 years and was an ER tech at Community Hospital for 2 years. During that time, his interactions with the GJFD personnel inspired him to strive for a position with the department. In this time off, he can be found outdoors hiking, camping, and fishing. Cody, you will be assigned to Station 1, Black Crew. Next up is Josiah Nordstrom. He will be pinned by his father, Aaron Nordstrom. Grand Junction is Josiah's hometown, and most of his family lives here. A couple of years ago, Josiah started pursuing a position with GJFD. Since then, he has been pursuing certifications and testing, but he didn't have much experience in the medical field or fire service. Josiah is eager to put his training to use and learn from those online. Josiah looks forward to gaining experience and getting established in this career, and to earn the trust of his crew and becoming a dependable member of this team. Josiah, you will be assigned to Station 2, Green Crew. Next up is Dylan Osborne. He will be pinned by his girlfriend, Haley Gross. Dylan is originally from Wyoming, but has lived in Grand Junction most of his life. He grew up racing motorcycles across the country, and as a result, he has come to know the back of an ambulance as a patient very well. The thought never crossed his mind to become a firefighter and EMT until after college, when many of his friends pursued a career in the fire service and tried to convince him to as well. Dylan started his journey working as a firefighter in 2019 after coming across an accident on Red Mountain Pass on his way to work. And that was the moment he decided to change the direction and become a first responder. Dylan, you will be assigned to Station 4, Green Crew. Next up is Lainey Osborne. She will be pinned by her husband, Kirk Osborne. Lainey was born and raised in Grand Junction. Lainey and her husband, Kirk, who is also a Grand Junction native, have 5 children, ages 16, 15, 11, and 5-year-old twins. They love being active and especially love the summertime, camping, fishing, and hiking. For the last 10 years, Lainey worked as a registered medical assistant in a local dermatology office while working part-time as a CrossFit coach. And in the last few years, she also ran her own personal training business. Lainey, you will be assigned to Station 2, Black Crew. Next up is Joshua Shively. He will be pinned by his wife, Molly Shively. Joshua was born and raised in Parker, Colorado, on the Front Range, and moved to Grand Junction in 2012 to go to school at CMU. There he completed a degree in exercise science. After college, he worked as a personal trainer and strength coach for 5 years. In the spring of 2019, he set a goal of working for the Grand Junction Fire Department. He and his wife Molly live in Fruita and have 2 daughters, Charlotte, 2 years old, and Amelia, 9 months old. Their hobbies include anything outdoors, but especially mountain biking, trail running, backpacking, and fishing. Joshua, you are assigned to Station 3, Black Crew. Next up is Matthew Shrout. He will be pinned by his mother, Maria Shrout. Matthew was born and raised in Southern California. He grew up in a fire department family. His father worked for the Long Beach Fire Department. Matthew played water polo, which led him to employment as an ocean lifeguard with the Long Beach Fire Department. Shortly after, he obtained his EMT and took on a supervisor role. During the off-season, he worked for multiple construction companies before getting hired by a fire department. Matthew worked for the Los Angeles City Fire Department for 2 years, then packed his bags and moved out to beautiful Colorado. Matthew, you are assigned to Station 1, Green Crew. Next up is Rick Swales. He will be pinned by firefighter Matthew Vess. Rick came to Grand Junction from Georgia, where he retired as a 24-year veteran in the fire service in the Metro Atlanta area. Rick served in the rank of firefighter, engineer, lieutenant, captain, and upgrade battalion chief, and has operated on engine, truck, and rescue companies. Rick is married to Leah Swales, and they have 2 children, Cody and Emma. Rick is thankful to be here in the Grand Junction, and he looks forward to a long and rewarding career here. Rick, you are assigned to Station 1, Black Crew. Next up is Blaine Uphoff. He will be pinned by his mother, Terry Uphoff. Blaine was born and raised in Fruita and went to college at NAU in Flagstaff, Arizona, where he studied criminal justice. He started his career in EMS at Colorado Mountain College in 2019 and then moved to Omaha, Nebraska, where he gained experience working for both a rural 911 EMS hospital and a private IFT. Blaine is excited to be back where he grew up and is very honored to serve the community that raised him. His hobbies include skiing, snowboarding, golfing, and hunting. Blaine, you are assigned to Station 4, Black Crew. Next up, Jaap van Galen. He will be pinned by his father, Willem van Galen. Jaap was born in Enschede, the Netherlands, but grew up moving around due to his father's work with the Dutch Air Force. Before moving to Grand Junction, Jaap and his wife, Jordan, lived in Granby, Colorado. Jaap worked as a ski patroller and a wildland firefighter and volunteered with the local fire department. Those jobs and experiences quickly instilled a desire and passion for him to pursue a career in the fire service. Jaap and Jordan enjoy rock climbing, kayaking, camping, backpacking, and road trips. Jaap, you will be assigned to Station 6, Green Crew. Next is Bryce Waters. He will be pinned by his father, Wayne Waters. Bryce was born and raised on the eastern slope of Colorado and came from a service-oriented family, including PAs, nurses, and deputy sheriffs. Bryce played sports from a young age, which introduced him to structure and discipline. After high school, he joined the United States Marine Corps and served as an aviation ordnance man in South Carolina and other areas around the world. After leaving the Marine Corps, he worked in Denver as an EMT before joining the Grand Junction Fire Department. Bryce is eager to begin working with great people, an amazing place he now calls home. Bryce is assigned to Station 3, Black Crew. Next, the recruits will take the oath.
Recruits, please stand. Recruits, attention! Left face. Raise your right arm.
Please repeat after me. I state your name, do hereby declare
I, Vice Johnson, do hereby declare
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the state of Colorado,
and the state of Colorado,
the charter and ordinances of the city of Grand Junction,
the charter and ordinances of the city of Grand Junction,
and the policies and procedures of the Grand Junction Fire Department.
and the policies and procedures of the Grand Junction Fire Department.
As a member of the Grand Junction Fire Department,
As a member of the Grand Junction Fire Department,
my fundamental duty is to
my fundamental duty is to
serve the people I swear to protect,
serve the people I swear to protect,
to safeguard and preserve life,
to safeguard and preserve life,
health and property
health and property,
against fire and other perils,
against fire and other perils,
and to maintain proficiency in my chosen profession.
and to maintain proficiency in my chosen profession.
I recognize the firefighter badge
I recognize the firefighter badge
as a symbol of public faith and trust.
as a symbol of public faith and trust.
I will be true to the ethics of the fire service,
I will be true to the ethics of the fire service,
and I make these promises
and I make these promises
solemnly,
solemnly,
freely,
freely,
and upon my honor.
and upon my honor.
Congratulations, Grand Junction firefighters. Lower your right hand.
Firefighters, right face. At ease.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand as we welcome Chaplain Bain to the podium for the benediction.
Good afternoon. Commemorations of the 75th anniversary of D-Day in 2019 honored more than 156,000 troops who took part in the largest seaborne invasion in history to liberate Western Europe. In his prayer broadcast over the radio on June 6, 1944, President Roosevelt asked for God's protection, praying, "They fight not for the lust of conquest. They fight to end conquest. They fight to liberate." A willingness to put one's life in harm's way to restrain evil and liberate the oppressed brings to mind Jesus' words, "Greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends." John 15:13. These fine men and women have trained hard to become a team together. Their challenge will not be one of war, but one of service to their community. At times, they might be asked to risk their own lives or endure great hardship in their service. But I ask them not to forget the words in John 15:13. And when they have been asked to endure these hardships, they would be there for each other as friends. Let us pray. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine on you. And may the Lord turn his face to you and give you peace. In Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen.
I would now like to acknowledge and welcome our newest firefighters to Grand Junction Fire Department. I also want to thank all the families in attendance. Please join us for refreshments in the back of the room once the recruits have exited this stage. I present to you the graduating class of the Grand Junction Fire Department 2022.